Hey, how's everyone doing today? Hope everybody had a good week. Gonna do a little Sunday update here. Doing a little Sunday morning update this week. I'm about to go to bed here in a few minutes. Work later on this afternoon, so I figured if I do the video now when I get off work, don't have to worry about recording it. I can just come home and watch the Atlanta Hawks beat the Milwaukee Bucks, and life will be good. Not a whole lot going on with crypto news this week. Not a whole lot going on in general, kind of just chopping sideways. So I figured I'd do a little video about technical analysis, possibly looking forward to getting into longs and shorts if I can find a proper exchange that I can legally do that inside the United States. Because throughout this week, even though the price from beginning of week to end of week is not that much different, there's definitely opportunity. You can see a lot of drops and a lot of bounces throughout this week, and you can make quite a bit of money off of that if you know what you're looking for, if you know what you're doing, and technical analysis kind of plays into that. TradingView.com is a free website to use. You can search up different stocks, cryptos, and all sorts of stuff inside of that. I pulled up Bitcoin, and you can see there's different charts for shorts, longs, Bitcoin off of the dollar on different exchanges. Just tons of different charts that you can pull up and look at. Right here we just got Bitcoin 15-minute chart. You can get minutes, hours, days. You can even bust it down into seconds. I do believe you have to upgrade the package for that. I just use the free version. Along with the different time frames, you can slap different indicators on top of your graph. You can find indicators for a lot of stuff when it comes to trading with stocks and cryptos. You can find different graphs to kind of show you where you're trending, where your support is, where your resistance is at, to kind of help you make more informed decisions with trading. And you can always remove those charts. When I first got into TA, MACD, or moving average convergence divergence, and your moving averages were two that I was, can't remember where I seen it at because it's been over a year, but those were two of the early indicators that it recommended getting familiar with. With Investopedia.com, you can pull up different definitions. They'll kind of give you a short little article about how to use it, what it means, how to understand it, key takeaways. You've got moving averages, simple moving averages, and exponential moving averages. You can set up different time frames for, if you want to look at short time frames for 15 days up to 200 days. Moving average convergence divergence can kind of give you buy and sell indicators. Once I got a good handle on the moving averages, I just moved on to MACD because MACD basically just takes your EMA and slaps it into a nice little graph. MACD triggers technical signals when it crosses above to buy or below to sell, with taking other factors into account, such as the speed of the crossover. If market is just shooting up or crashing hard, this indicator doesn't exactly account for that. And you also have to consider bullish and bearish movement in the price, whether it's strengthening or weakening. So for the moving average convergence divergence, you can come back to these charts, come up to your indicators. This site is free. You can pay to upgrade, but they provide all of these different indicators that you can put on for free. And they've got a ton of them. Just search, find the one you're looking for. And you can see here on the 4-hour chart, as it said, you've got your signal line, this orange fella, and then you've got your blue line, your indicator line. So as the price crosses your signal line, as your blue indicator crosses your signal, this would enter a buy signal, and you would want to buy into crypto, Bitcoin in particular, right about here. And you can see as it goes up with the volume and the price, you could make a good little swing trade right there. And then your indicator crosses below right here. And that would be an indicator to sell. And as you can see, that would have worked out fairly well if you had been paying attention to that chart for that time frame. When you start getting into technical analysis, you're really talking about people that are heavily into trading. I would imagine the majority of the people that watch my videos have no interest in this whatsoever, but I think there would be a few of us that at least would have interest in looking at it. Like I said, on that first indicator I'd pulled up, you got your resistance levels, your support levels. Those levels are good to know when you are investing heavily into a market. You've got different indicators to show different aspects. Right here on the 4-hour chart, our indicator line has crossed our signal line again. Be interesting to see what happens over the next day or so on this 4-hour chart to see if that would have been. Obviously, you could check your lower time frame for like your 2-hour. We're above it on the 2-hour quite a bit, starting to drive up volume. And then you could go the opposite way. 4-hour up to 24 hours is a pretty big jump. You can see the daily isn't quite crossing over yet, but it's hanging out right there with that signal line. Much like the whole week, I think the price is just waiting. It's waiting to either break up or break down. And when it does, I hope it goes hard either way. Either jump us up to 40 or knock us down to like 24,000 and call it a fucking day. Excuse my language. Another cool thing with this is if you follow people that are on this website and they've made their own indicators, their own charts. I follow CryptoBurb. He has his own that he uses for his videos. Go ahead and close this MACD out. Now, don't get me wrong with technical analysis. I do not understand a ton of it. I probably understand 0.001 of technical analysis, and it's probably not even that high if you wanted to be honest. His chart down here, this guy is an expert, by all means. He has combined multiple indicators in this. I was reading up on it earlier. He's got like Ichimoku, Fibonacci, RSI, different price oscillator divergences like MACD. So I pulled up one of them, Ichimoku Cloud. It's composed of 5 lines of calculations. It kind of tells you what the different 5 lines are meaning. The cloud is a key part of the indicator. When the price is below the cloud, the trend is down. When the price is above, the trend is up. So he's got that incorporated with his own chart already. If you wanted to just use the Ichimoku cloud, you can go ahead and throw it over the top of your chart. Come back down to our 4-hour range. You can see it's got the 5 different lines with the shaded area being the key part, and the price is starting to trend upward into the cloud. Even with the moving average convergence divergence line on the 4-hour chart, it is starting to cross over. I think you would still want to give this some more time to actually confirm an upward trend. But point being, with TA, there's a lot to it. I love it and I hate it at the same time. I hate it because I think that some people are misguided by it, which being misguided in a market like this will get you wrecked and you'll lose a lot of money. I think there's a lot of people who try to shill charts. They try to point to charts and say, 100% this is what it's going to do. You can't guarantee anything. It's one reason why I like following Burb. Him and his team are very clear cut when they tell you in their videos. They flat out say, going to give you the examples for the upward trend. I'm going to give you the examples for the downward trend. And then I'm going to give you my opinion of where it's going to go. Their opinion is just that. It's opinion. They're not saying 100% this is what's going to happen. They actually put out a video. I believe they're in Poland, so it would have been, let's see, it would have been early Saturday. So if we look at the time, it probably was like right here, about 4 o'clock in the morning, our time, I believe, possibly a little bit later. But, anyways, the point is, they put out the video and they indicated that, we could either see an upward trend or a downward trend. And then they gave their opinion. Their opinion was that we would see an upward trend. They were going to open up a long position. And as you can see, that definitely paid off for them. Obviously, it could have broke downward just the same, but that's why I enjoy following them, because they don't just shill one way or the other and say, yep, this is what it's going to do. They look at all of their charts, their Fibonacci graphs, their Bollinger Bands, Ichimoku cloud. They tell you, here's your support, here's your resistance, here's your median. If it breaks down to, support, you could be looking at 24,000. If it breaks out to resistance, we'll be looking at, 35,000. XYZ could happen. Here's what we think. So on and so forth. It kind of ties into the video I made a few weeks ago talking about the people that you follow and the people that you hang around and associate with and talk with, kind of will dictate your own mental state. So pay attention to who you're following, what they're telling you. If they're only shilling something to you, I would be wary of that. If they never point out, if they're pointing out the good, that's great, but they've also got to be willing to point out the bad. And if they don't, I would kind of question who you're following there. Speaking of following, thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys next week.